Happy Valentine's Day. I hope you're having lots of love and hugs from the grandkids and sweets from your sweetheart. Today I'm just going to run over a fairly quick watercolors, just 4 different hearts that you can make and use as Valentine cards. So I hope you enjoy. If you want to paint along with me, I'll show you what I'm using. I've got 3 fairly small brushes. This is about 11 by 7, about that size, and I've taped it down with my handy dandy masking tape. It's a fairly easy one. It's not too sticky. It's good for paper watercolor. It doesn't rip up the paper. I have it taped down onto a backing of a watercolor pad that I've used up. They're nice and firm. And so I put a plastic over top of it, taped it all down, and so now I have a a really nice just board that I can paint on. The brushes I'm using are fairly small. I've got an angle brush, a dagger brush. I've got just a round, this is an Oriental art brush, size 10. I don't know what that means. And then another smaller round brush. I thought that would be good. We're just going to do some really loose and free hearts, 4 different kinds. You can pencil them in. You can draw in your hearts. The first one I'm going to do, I just want to make a wee. Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention is I've got pigment liners, and I really like these. They're great for a quick, easy painting when you're using watercolors, sort of a pen and ink kind of look. And the other ones I have, which I don't know if I'll use or not, but we'll see. These are wonderful pens. I don't know if you can see that. They're great. They're called Uniball Signo. Uniball Signo, anyway. They're the best that I've found for writing on. They don't glob. They come out nice and smooth. I really like them, and I especially like the white. It was hard to find a white one. So, Valentines, here we go. The first one I'm going to do is just a heart. We're just gonna, oops. And I don't even know if I'll paint it just like that. You can see it's just kind of wiggly, doesn't even have a point. Pardon me, it's really dry in here today, so pardon me if I have a little cough. So I've activated my paints. I have my watercolor palette that I use Graham watercolors, and I just spray it and activate the paint. So I did that before I started so that they're ready to roll. So I think with this one, we're going to try a little bit different colors, some turquoise, and I don't know. Let's just see what else we can do. I think what I'm going to do first, though, is I'm just going to wet in this heart, and I'm not worried about whether I stay in the lines or not. But I want to get in a fair amount of water. I want to soak that paper, and so that my colors really blend. So just touching in with the tip of your paintbrush. Let's get some colors down here. Let's see, what else can I put in? How about some violet? What about that? That'd be pretty. I got quite a glob of water on that, or paint, I mean. There, I kind of like that. I might just let that dry now. It's kind of cool. So we'll be doing things with it afterwards. I'll let that dry. I really did get that very, very wet, didn't I? Okay, so the other one, now I'm going to try another one, similar, but maybe a little more decorous as far as the drawing goes and the paint. So let's draw an actual heart instead of a big lump that's pretending to be a heart. Okay, so I've got a heart, and again, I'm going to wet this, but not quite so loaded with water. and I want to try and stay inside my lines. The color in the lines kind of painting. I like the dagger brush because it's got a nice point on it, and you can just really get a nice fine line. So just smooth that all out so it's even and it's got a shine to it. We'll just let some of that water soak into the paper because we want the colors to move, but we don't want them to be sort of all over like this one was. So I like that. That's actually pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to try a little bit of diaxant purple. That's always a fun color. So let's try this in, and let's just sort of brush it over. I got a hair, darn it. Let's just brush this over a bit and see what happens. A little bit extra. That's kind of pretty. And let me see what kind of color have I got. If I could actually read some of the colors names on my paint, it would even be better. Let's put, oh, there's a pretty blue. It's probably a turquoise or something. Well, that's pretty. Look at that, eh? And it's still wet enough that the colors are blending a bit, but like I said, not going totally crazy. And how about a little bit of pink? Quinacridone pink is really nice, soft color. Oh, look at that there. I'll just bring that one over. And some of the pinks will mix with the blue and turn purple. There, that's pretty. I like that. So this blue doesn't seem to want to mix too much on this side. Let's get a little bit, just muck around a little bit. Make those colors. Oh, look at that. So until you're satisfied, don't muck too much. That's my biggest downfall, is I muck about a lot, which is why I moved to acrylics, because watercolor doesn't take mucking very well. Okay, so there's the second one. Okay, let me see what I've got here. Now, this one will be a little bit different again. I'm going to actually, let's just move right out of our comfort zone. And we're going to put some water on. So you want kind of a glob of, what's my technical term? Glob of water right in the middle. And then how about we add some, let's put in some nice sunny colors, okay, for something completely different. So a little bit of yellow and maybe some quin red in there. It mixes nicely. Do a little bit of green. What if I took some hunters and some of the yellow and turned it into a bit more green? More of this red. So that doesn't look like a heart. It looks like a glob of water and paint, but it's kind of pretty. I like it. I'm going to add a little bit darker yellow in part of it. Just sort of experimenting with colors. It didn't have any water there, so I'll just add that in. That's pretty, pretty, pretty. Pardon me again. I turned away from the camera so that you wouldn't catch my cough. There, I like that. We'll just leave it alone. Don't muck anymore. Let it dry. We may have to get the blow dryer out and dry some of them in a bit. So, okay, the last one I want to do I'm actually going to turn my paper so that I'm doing it long ways. And I might pencil this one in a little bit. So this one is drying nicely. Even this one here that had so much water is really drying well. So I'm making this heart long and kind of on the angle. I like that. That's cool. Okay, so let's get in some pink. I'm going to use alizarin. Oh, I think I still will water this down. I like that watery look. So let's wet that heart. And has a little bit more water than this one, but not as much as that one. So I can see what I'm doing, see where the water is. Ooh, look at that beautiful red. And that's alizarin crimson. Oh, that is just gorgeous. In fact, you know what? I'm not going to do another thing to that one. Just let that dry. Now, my dryer's over in the other spot, so I'm going to stop this or pause it, go blow dry everything, and then show you what I'm going to do with the rest.